Hi guys. Today, for this past 3 days, you might be installing Flutter. You might be installing, having an exercise on Dart, and you'll be working on Android Studio, VS Code, or whatever you faced. And you might be helpful in this. I mean, you might be showing whatever the capability that Flutter does, right? Now we are going to combine the function as well as the application together. The thing is, you might be seeing an same old page with a button, and you have Dart programming done in the other sites. So now we are going to add a function, and today is a basic dice application that you have. What is a dice application? Dice application is nothing but we'll be having two dices, roll it together, you'll be getting some value in it. So first will I'll get into my Android Studio. So this will be my Android Studio. Here I have imported Dart package, which is the uh, basic thing when it comes to importing Dart. And after that, I'll be importing a math function. Why do I get a math function? To set up this environment, why are we even actually trying to add this math function? Why? Because we wanted this application to generate a random number. Why this random number? Because say you are rolling it a dice may put a random number from 1 to 6. We don't know what that dice does, right? And so in that case, we wanted a dice to roll random number, and it should not be generated by our machine. It should be a random number. So for importing the random library, I'm just importing the math function. After that, this is the same main page with return app, and the scaffold is green. Text in the scaffold will be my, in the app bar will be my dice app. And I've given green. You can give anything, any colors like red and everything. So I have given green. This is my stateful widget and stateless widget. What is a stateful and a stateless widget? There we have a question, right? What is a stateless widget? From the name itself, we can derive that the widget whose state. So there is one state. Say suppose I have one state. The widgets whose state cannot be altered are known, are said to be that stateless widget. They are immutable, and say suppose any amount of change in variables, icons, button, or if you take data from that API and you just throw it in there, it is totally a stateless widget. That is what we call totally into background and other thing. It is stateless widget. So after that, what is a stateful widget? There is a difference between stateless and stateful. What is a stateful widget? Stateful widget is nothing but when you have the things to change. Say suppose I roll a dice, I wanted to change particular values, say 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I wanted to change something, right? In that case, we go with stateful widget. Everything is parceled between that stateful widget. So, and as they are immutable, they are mutable. So, and cannot be changed multiple times in their lifetime. Say I am clicking it and changing the dice name, it can change. And when I'm going to fetch from a weather API and then I'm going to do it, it will change. State of an app can change multiple times with different set of variables. Variable, as you already know, it can change to anything that can be implemented in any I mean any tool to implement your change. So this is my construct of the dice, and I have created images here. So in this image I have changed to dice 1, dice 2, dice 3, dice 4, dice 5, dice 6. So these are 6 images that are being shown here. How did I add it here? I have downloaded it from web. So dice 1, dice 2, dice 3, dice 4, dice 5, dice 6 I have downloaded it from net. Here right click, new directory. Clicking on directory will create the directory. After that, I pasted that image. I renamed it to images, and images I've given dice 1, dice 2, dice 3, dice 4, dice 5, dice 6. After that, I'll go to the pubspec YAML, and here in the Flutter asset, this is a local asset, and this local asset I will add the images. So this is the image I add here, and in that image, this is the location for the first image. This is the location for the second image. So here, be careful while adding the assets. It should be with an indentation. So this will be with an indentation. With the indentation, you'll provide the path and you'll get pubget. So it will get all those values and it will update it in your code. So this is done. And once this is done, we'll go to main dot. So I haven't added the dependencies. So if we add dependencies, it would have been shown here. So this is our body construct of it. So now how are we going to implement the dice application? I'll open my AVT manager, and now I have it here. I'll open my Flutter phone. I'll I'll first run my construct. What this construct does. Okay. So I opened it. I think the system is running. We'll just click on run it. So here in my data analysis, I'll see whatever the errors that I have. Since the my app is not defined, it will show really throw me an error. And if it is run, in this run, you will get see what is your current state. So now the Gradle is assembling the debug and it is waiting for it to provide the APK. Just wait for some time. Now this APK is built and it will show some error. See why? Because the build function returnal, we didn't build anything, so it will provide an error. So now how are we going to implement this? So here I have created a state for dice application. So now how are we going to implement this? Say I wanted to create a number, and for the left dice and right dice, I wanted to provide this before this. Okay, here I'll create int values. Int left dice number equal to 1. We'll assign it with the number 1, and int, because that doesn't comes with 0, right? And I'll put int right dice number equal to, say, suppose I give 2. So I assign left dice and right dice. I give 2 numbers. Okay, I wanted to change the values according randomly, and that random number should give me a particular number between 1 and 6. So I'll create a function and get a set state. After that, I'll give that set state to a place where it will update me what are the values that we have, and which is updated for the dice. So I'll create, I'll change the number in this function. This is how to invoke a function, and it will return null. So I give a void. Now I'll give set state. Inside the set state, I wanted this left dice number equal to random of with my next till 6 it can. But see, till 6 and as it is a list, it will bring from 0 to 5. But 0 is not a valid entry in a dice. So what we'll understand is we'll add a 1 to it. So this is not a valid entry. So since we added 1 to it, it will surely work out. And as we mentioned, we'll be having a code here. And same for right dice number, we'll give it and have a random value and then give next int same which is it and we'll give plus 1. So now we are done with our state, and this can provide us a random number. What can we do other than this? So we have widgets which is being built. Now we'll create a return value so that we on stage will get that dice to be applied. So we wanted it to return. We wanted to return, and it should be center. Inside the center, I'll add a child of row. Inside the rows, say I gave 2 rows. Inside the rows, I wanted to add children's. Children's in the sense, I now create one row. Say suppose I create one row. In that row, I wanted to create two children's here. This is one row and this is two children's. I wanted to create two children's. Okay, now this is throwing an error. Okay, now we shall run it. We'll see what it does now. See, now we are returning the center and we are creating the row. Inside the row, I wanted to create a children. So I have created the application. So this function is not being used elsewhere in the program. Now we'll use it. I wanted to create a row where I wanted to have this different images being placed here. What I will do, I will create a row inside the row widget. I'll create the children. I wanted two children's, that is two images which should be side by side placed in here. I should be having two children's. This is a list where you have it in the square brackets. This is a list. So after each and every updation of a particular list, it will be in that square bracket, and this is much more helpful. So, and after this, I need to provide a button, but say suppose I give a flat button, it has not, I'll give a width and a height. Say if I give a width and a height, it can be compatible with this phone. But if I give a fixed width and fixed length, sometimes it can overshadow other applications. Sometimes it can be smaller too when compared to when you have that in Android and other big size screen, right? Now the mobiles are coming with multiple sizes of screens. What are we going to do in that case? We have one expanded widget where you can change whatever you need. Change this in whatever according to its size. So in this, I'll add flex of 1, which can be flexible of 1, and I'll add the child of a flat button. And in that flat button, I'll open this. Inside the flat button, on pressed, I wanted the change number to be consumed. So on I will have on pressed, I will tell this on pressed to run my change number. I will change number. So when I click on pressed, it will run the change number and it will give left dice number and right dice number. I will just print. I will save it. Say if I have a button here which is not visible, but if you can see there is a random number being generated here. Okay, now how are we going to change with this random number? I have created a function with the change number. I have created a flat button, and inside the flat button it's on pressed, and in that on pressed we are having the change number, and I have printed it here, left number dice number. I wanted this left dice number to be able to give me an image where I see values with the change of images. So how are we going to implement this image asset? To add an image asset into our program, into our dart main dart, we get child image dot asset and provide the location for it. So in this case it is images slash dice, will give dollar sign and will give this left dice number. I forgot to tell you, you should add the entire thing and this PNG. Now we have this. If we click on save, will be having the entire dice. So now if I click this, as we have seen this in past, if we click this, it will change. So we have a dice which has a bigger expanded view, and we can see that the functionality of it gets changed. Okay, so now we can see like this is clumsy, right? So this is totally clumsy. What we'll do, we'll just copy it, right click it, and now we'll refactor code with dart format. If I click this, see it comes in a parent child kind of view. This is more helpful for you in case if you wanted to develop something in this posture. Say you wanted to develop a big this is dice application is a simple application, and it can be anything. Like you are generating a random number, from that random number you are actually changing the state full widget, and you are giving it an output. How are we going to implement this? As I already told you, this has now generated the random number. I now remove the console of print analyze. So if you can see, this is inside my expanded. So this is my first child of the row, which is center. So if you could understand this clearly, center is the parent, super parent say, and row is the child. And inside the row, we have two children's. One is the expanded one, maybe. Other one will be an expanded two. So now this expanded is over. Here the expanded is over. I wanted to add another expanded. What I'll do, I'll close this. Here I'll open and another expanded. What I'll do here, I'll open the same thing and I'll open the same thing and I'll create the flex of 1, and inside this same like that of child, that of flat button, and inside the flat button I am going to give the same on pressed function, in the onPressed function, onPressed, it should change my number. Once this is done, I'll just change. Once this is done, so this is change number, and this is also change number. Once this is done, I will have a child of image. Okay, we will see whether child of image dot asset copy the same thing. Now we have left dice number. I'll change it to right dice number. So before this right dice number is now completed, so I'll control save, and now if you see I have 2 dice. So this can change according to whatever it needs. This is a right dice number. Say I wanted to change the entire thing. I don't want to wait for others to come. I mean, I don't want this background image and everything, right? I wanted to change the color. You can go ahead and change the color here. To red, and if you give a control save, it will automatically run it. Yeah, background color is green, that's why. Scaffold is green. Now we'll give it red. Now I will run it. Why was it given red? No, I will run it. See, you can change this to any color and anything. Okay, I told you about math library. Where are we getting that math libraries in Dart? That is the place where you can get libraries in Dart. I'll show you where you'll be getting code libraries. So this is the demonstration on where you have this all place, right? Where the Google developers put in all those SDKs and then they give it as a package. These are core libraries that we have. WebGL, say we used math, and which is this is the random number generator. So you, in order to test it, you can interact with the developer tools and debugger inspector. And to search for a package, we have a place called perf.dev. Okay, what we do it in here. I think okay. Okay, whatever the package that we have, popular packages, analyzer, devices info. These are the popular packages, right? These are developed by the main developers. So I wanted to take text. So this is a package, and this is auto size into text, animated text kit, Flutter, Linkify, and there are many more packages that you can install, and then you just try to add it in this place where you have in the pubspec.yaml. In the pubspec.yaml, you can actually add it in here, and then you can give pub.get. After this pub.get, it will automatically go to main.dart file. So this is where how you implement it. So I wanted you guys to try giving. I want you guys to. I'll send this code in the Flutter. I've sent this code in Flutter group, and can you guys try it now? I don't want you to try different kind of approach or like multiple dices. Just try with two. Say you can give. You can go for a toss application. Go for a toss application, and then give 2 coins like heads and tails, and you can add your own animation to it. You can add your own vice versa anything to it, and then you can try to implement it whatever. Okay guys, so try to do this exercise today, and we'll post the daily exercises. If you face any issues, just let me know in WhatsApp group so that we might help you in rectifying this, and hope we get an application at the end of this internship, and that might be helpful for your career as well. And thank you guys.